Hi guys, welcome to some revision for English Language Paper 1. This is going to be looking at the structure question. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Stacey Ray, and Twitter, just for extra revision. I'm going to focus on an excerpt from Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. It's probably best that you get parental consent to read this extract because it is for adults. I always try to keep structure simple and then go to something more challenging. Very simply then, you can comment on the opening sentence, any changes in topic, time, narrator, setting, repetition, dialogue, if somebody speaks, what does it add, and then we should comment on the end. However, if we're starting to think about the grade 7, 8s and 9s, which is what I encourage, then down the left, certainly, you're looking at chronological order. Is it linear? Is it non-linear? Are there multiple perspectives? Is it cyclical in some way? And then again, to make it more difficult, and this is what this video will focus on, is equilibrium, disequilibrium, climax, and foreshadowing. Sentence types you can absolutely comment on. I do analyse that on the JAWS video that I uploaded. So check the full playlist out for other videos. There's punctuation as well. But if we're focusing on the grade 9, equilibrium is a state of balance. So basically, when everything is just as it should be. Your disequilibrium is a state of unbalance, so obviously something untoward is occurring or something unsettling or chaos is developing. Climax is obviously the most tense moment of the extract. And then when we move to foreshadowing, are we warned about upcoming events? Because don't forget, in paper 1, AQA, we have the opening page of a novel usually. Keywords that we should try and include in our analysis are there. I include them on all of my structure videos, so try and include a couple. I always try to avoid shows, so again, have a look, take a screenshot, think about the variations you can use. And don't forget to extend your analysis where possible, especially when looking for the 7, 8 and 9, because the examiner asks that you say a lot about a little. So I'm going to show you an extract from Silence of the Lambs. In order for this video to be successful and in order for you to practice some revision, it'll be a good idea for you to pause the video here really and have a good read of the extract. So as you can see, we are given a synopsis at the start. The following extract is taken from the novel The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. In the novel, the FBI trainee agent Clarice Starling has been asked to interview Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a serial killer who ate his victims. So actually we're finding out a little bit about the characters there. Please pause the video and have a read. I am going to show you now, just for practice and for revision, where I have identified those things on the right. So equilibrium and disequilibrium, I think in this extract are both at the beginning, because in one instance we've got he's behind bars and that's where he should be, but in the other instance obviously we've got the notion that he's a serial killer in a prison. The opening sentence I'm going to show you in my response in a moment. Obviously we've got to focus on the cell and the bars. As we progress through the extract, we get Clarice begins to talk to him, so the tension begins to rise. The climax, I think, is when she can hear her own blood, and I think you've got that connotation of danger. As well as that, ask yourself if blood foreshadows upcoming events in the novel, as well as reminding us of Dr. Lecter's past. And then the last sentence has his eyes held Starling whole. My example response is not finished, it's just something quick to show you. For practice and for revision, you should, as I say, pause the video here and attempt your own response. Attempt thinking about the structure question for AQA. I'm going to show you mine now. Again, it's not finished, it's just to kind of show you where we can go and how we can word it. Remember, question 3 on AQA is how does the writer structure the text to interest the reader? So this is the beginning of my answer. The opening sentence arguably utilises equilibrium, as initially Dr. Lecter, a serial killer, is exactly where he should be, behind bars. Alternatively, it could be proposed that this is a subtle instance of disequilibrium, where the reader is unsettled about the setting, a prison cell, as well as the doctor himself. Additionally, we are introduced to the idea that this particular cell is slightly removed from the others, well beyond, and this emphasises segregation and the isolation of this killer. As the extract progresses, we are further warned that there is an additional barrier which places Dr. Lecter out of human reach, and this could foreshadow events further on in the novel, as well as consistently plaguing the reader with fear regarding his past actions. The tension intensifies as Clarice begins to speak, and this leads to the climax of the extract. It was only her blood she heard. Naturally, the noun blood holds many connotations, from injury to something more violent, and this acts as another potential example of foreshadowing. The reader is clearly aware that the Doctor is extremely dangerous. So as you can see, I've just put in bold some keywords like the opening sentence: equilibrium, disequilibrium, introduce, progress, foreshadow, intensify, climax, connotations, foreshadowing. Obviously, what I would then need to do, if we just go back, is to add the end sentence onto my answer. And obviously, if you look at your end sentence, it says his eyes held Starling whole. So you've got a quite short sentence. You've got this metaphorical idea that his eyes have the ability to hold her there. And then we've got, again, almost a cyclical structure in the sense that we have entrapment in the opening sentence, Dr. Lecter, but actually by the end, Clarice Starling also seems trapped by the gaze of Dr. Lecter and obviously this particular moment, which is massively tense. I hope this was useful. Again, as I say, it was just something really quick to look at the structure question. Remember these terms, practice them in your revision. There is a whole playlist on my channel. There is an extract from Jaws. There is an extract from a novel called Pretty Little Things. Try and practice your own response. Check out my YouTube channel. There's over 320 videos there as well for English literature. Follow me on Instagram if you want quick revision, and massive good luck in your English exams.